Okay, so tonight I'm chatting to Exeter and London-based contemporary new folk musician. She's called Lucy Aggett. She's recently released a new single called 16, and I'm going to be playing it on the next edition of musomuso FM, which is scheduled to go out this coming Sunday, the 5th of April. So let's go over to Aggett headquarters to see if Lucy is there waiting for me. Are you there, Lucy?
Hello, I am.
She's there. Brilliant. The wonders of technology and Skype and God knows what, and a decent broadband connection with no children on Xboxes. That's a winning combination, isn't it? How are you? How are you coping during these very testing times, Lucy? Managing to keep good spirits and things?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I managed to escape London, so I'm back in Devon with my family, which is quite nice.
How was London? Was it getting scary or?
So I managed to, I think I came back the day before lockdown, and tensions were rising in London. A lot of people that I'm close with, people who I live close by to, everyone was going, oh my God, we might be locked down in London. And I was planning on coming back to Devon, so I was a bit nervous, but it's okay. It's
nice.
Okay.
You coping okay, are you? Not gone stir crazy yet? Not cabin fever's not set in or anything like that?
Not yet. I am I'm
time.
cooking my way through,
Yeah. I think I'm drinking my way through. I've started drinking a lot.
Me too.
I'm working from home. I'm normally finished about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's a big gin and tonic or a glass of beer waiting for me. I think this can't carry on. I'm going to be the size of a house by the time we get out and hopefully get back to some form of normality. So, there we go.
Yeah,
so thank you for joining us. It's a Wednesday evening. I don't know what else you had on your social calendar tonight. I can't imagine it would have been a great deal apart from cuddling up to Netflix and maybe a glass of wine or something. I just realised actually the date is April the 1st. Today, have you had any crazy pranks played on you or anything like that yet? So,
luckily, no. I'm glad of that as well, because I'm quite a gullible person. So I feel like I'm a good target, but I haven't so far.
No, I'll save the bit about getting you into a BBC session later on then or something.
Oh my!
I wouldn't dare play any pranks.
That's cruel.
Absolutely. What are you missing most at the moment, Lucy?
I am missing being in London for sure. That's it's a really lovely place to be as a musician. And I study music, so I'm surrounded by musical people all the time, and I'm really missing that at the moment. Yeah,
I imagine. I think it's nice. Well, whereabouts are you in London?
So I live in Harrow, which is like northwest kind of outskirts of London. That's where my campus is. So yeah.
And that's where the college is that you're studying at the moment, is it? Or
yeah.
Cool. I imagine there's probably quite a lot of open mic events and social gatherings and things like that around there. Is that sort of thing you're missing most as well?
Lots of lovely pubs and little chilled out places like that, and everyone's really welcoming with music. And stuff.
How do you find it up there? Because London is a complete melting pot of musicians and artists and things like that. Do you find that you've got to be something unique to be able to stand out in front of everyone, or you just be yourself basically, and if they accept you, they accept you?
I find that, well, in Harrow specifically, or my surrounding area, people are really welcoming. You can just kind of like, you can message a pub and be like, hi, do you have any slots? And they'll say yes, and you can kind of go and play, and the audiences there are lovely and really welcoming. So I've not found that I've had to kind of change myself or make myself stand out. It's nice. It's really nice. It's not much different to Devon, to be honest.
No, I know what you mean. I lived up in Greenwich for about 8 months when I was working up in London before, and there were nice little bars around, little open mic nights, and various little pop-up events happening all over the place. And I think you find if you're in one area of London, you tend to stay within that one area. You rarely sort of venture out.
For sure.
It's a big old place, London. It can take a lot of time to be, can't it? So looking forward then, Lucy, what's the first thing you're planning on doing once the lockdown restrictions are lifted? You can go out, you can party. What are you going to do?
It's not a very thoughtful response, but it's going to be the pub for sure, for sure.
Straight down the pub, get on the
Straight down the
YMCA
pub. Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
I think there's going to be a lot of people going out, a lot of partying and things like that. So it's
Oh yeah, it's going to be crazy, isn't
one
it?
massive hangover, isn't it? But there we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be well worth it, I think, after the amount of time we're going to be locked down anyway. So
For sure.
I think one of the most frustrating things for bands and artists at the moment is, trying to book shows later on in the year and not really knowing when that's going to be allowed to happen. It must be. I mean, I guess you're struggling with the same. Basically, if you had anything booked in for, sort of July, August, September onwards. I mean, I'm seeing bands actually rebooking concerts now, and I'm thinking, I don't know if that's too early. What do you think? When do you think we're going to be safe to get out there?
I'm not sure. Luckily for me, I had a few kind of booked in May and June, but nothing further than that. And
right.
I don't know. I don't know that I would feel comfortable booking anything in September even. At the moment, it's just completely unprecedented, isn't it? Like
nobody knows, do they? There's not
nobody
even any indication or whatever.
Knows.
It's. I think we're following Italy and what are they doing at the moment? They're still in lockdown. And I was chatting to an artist in New York City the other night. Actually, we did a video interview with her, and fascinating, but exactly the same. You can go out for groceries, medical supplies, shopping for elderly relatives and friends and things like that. Social distancing, and it seems the whole world's in lockdown. It must be very eerie out there in the middle of city centres and things at the moment. But
oh my gosh, yeah, it looks like New York's been hit really badly as well. So I can't imagine what it must be like.
No, exactly. It's frightening times. But I guess the best we can do is stay in, isolate, distance, do whatever you need to do, and just stay healthy. That's the best thing, isn't it?
For sure.
So let's get on to a more positive note. Let's leave all that down in bummer stuff behind us, basically. Your latest single, it's called 16. You released it at the end of February. I've given it a couple of listens already, and I know it's going to go down really, really well on the podcast. I've read all about the song because you kindly sent me the press release, but I'd like you to tell me all about the song and what it's all about, where the inspiration came from for it, please.
Okay, so it's quite a niche story actually, this song. So I think it was maybe last year or the year before, I was just walking in Exeter City Centre in Devon, and an old friend of mine was walking past me, and I didn't recognise them until they'd walked past. And when you're like walking past them and it's too late to wave or say hello,
that's it. Yeah.
And it just kind of, I don't know, I was just like, oh my gosh, this person was so close to me at this point in my life, and now I don't even recognise them.
No.
And it just got me thinking, and then the song kind of stemmed from there.
Yeah.
So then I was just thinking about what it was like to be a teenager with no responsibilities.
Teenager, no responsibilities. Can I remember that far? No, I don't know if I can. Yeah, I'm not as old as I look, but I probably am older than I look, actually. But now, you play guitar, but 16 is a very piano-led track. So do you also play piano, or do you have a band, or who's on the track? Is it just yourself? Or?
No, it's so my guitar is in there. It's just very low, and it did start out it was supposed to just be guitar, but I recorded it up in Leeds with my producer Jack Arrowsmith, and I know quite a lot of people in Leeds, including an incredible pianist called Ozzy Parker, and I've been friends with him since birth, and I really wanted to get him on this track, and I kind of just gave free rein to him, and he did the amazing kind of lead piano part, and it went from there, really.
Cool. Oz Parker, that name rings a bell. Does he play in a band, or is he?
Yeah, I think he plays with Joan Hitchens.
That's where I know him from.
Yeah,
he's awesome. He's a very good keyboard player.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Yeah, you said Oz Parker, I was thinking of, but yeah, same person. But it's we were chatting offline beforehand. I was chatting about Jonah Hitchens, and he was up in Greenwich at the same time as I was up there. And you mentioned you were studying up in London as well. So So when you play, do you play solo? Do you play with other people, or is it a band affair when you go out live, or how do you do it?
It's normally just me and my guitar. although recently I've been playing with a bass player and another guitarist,
Okay.
and the guitarist does backing vocals, which is really cool.
Oh, brilliant.
And unfortunately that kind of came to a halt with the whole coronavirus outbreak, but once that's over, hopefully we can continue and
get back out
do
there,
some live stuff.
No, absolutely. How did you find making the transition from being a solo performer to having other musicians on the stage with you? Does it allow you a little bit more time to relax and enjoy it, or are you still sort of at the forefront and everyone's eyes are on you? How does it sort of work on stage?
I actually do relax into it a lot more with other people kind of backing me and supporting me, and
sharing the burden.
Yeah, exactly. And I love seeing other people getting creative on my songs as well. So quite often, like giving Ozzy Parker free reign, I tend to give people just do what you want, and I'll let you know if I like it or not. And
what comes out,
and I just love that kind of community creativity, but I was also in a band before I went on to do solo stuff, so I think I just find it innately more comfortable to be performing with other people on stage.
Yeah. No, I guess that, I mean, the bands I've chatted to recently is quite interesting, because some bands I talk to, they have a primary songwriter, one songwriter in the band who brings all the words and the verses and the chorus and the melodies and things to the table, and then the rest of the band just sort of get together and jam it all out until they're happy with it. So I think it's interesting talking to people who are solo artists, but then sometimes get hired help in to sort of help them on stage and boost the sound a little bit more, should you say, and give you a little bit of time to relax and settle back and enjoy the set as well, isn't it? So
for sure,
So in your bio then, Lucy, it says that you're North London and Devon-based musician. You're studying in London, as you've already alluded to. Whereabouts are you in Devon?
Exeter.
Oh, okay. So
born and bred.
Exeter, born and bred. Brilliant. Well, there's loads and loads of bands and artists, and I've asked you to come up with a couple of local ones, which we'll talk about more in a minute. But where are your sort of local haunts around Exeter then? Are you a Cavern girl or a Phoenix girl, or what's...
I have played at the Phoenix more than Cavern, so I'd say Phoenix probably. I love it there.
Yeah. Who have you supported there? Any big names or just local acts?
So, as a solo musician, I can't remember, but as my band, we played, I think it was 2015, the BBC introducing for the the Radio 1's Big Weekend.
Right, was that the one
we did that. Yes.
So
we did
that was 2016, not 15. That
2016, sorry.
Oh, sorry. It was only because we had photo passes and we went there and covered the whole event. So I know it like the
cool.
basically. But
yeah.
So you were involved at the events at the Phoenix beforehand, were you? Like the week leading up?
Yes. Which was really fun. And I've played in the Voodoo Lounge upstairs a few times as well.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's good. Which, because I think every day leading up to the event, they had like a Radio 1 DJ and some other special guests there and things. Was there anyone there when you were playing? What was the event?
Yes. So I think downstairs Scott Mills was doing something, and then my band played up at the Voodoo Lounge, and Greg James was there.
Oh yeah.
Greg James, I think he introduced us, so he came up on stage with us, which was really cool.
Wow.
Nice. I've been a big fan of Greg James since I was like 11, so it was really cool.
Nice. You met him? Did you chat to him, or did you just say hi?
Yeah. We had a little chat. He gave us a few industry tips. It was really lovely.
Nice. It's nice when people do that, because it shows they're actually leveling with people and on your level on your bandwidth, because they've been there as well. Whether they're musicians or DJs, they've got to start somewhere.
Very true.
So did you actually play at the One Big Weekend event at Powderham, or was it just the event leading up to the event you played on?
It was just the event at the Phoenix. We didn't play at the actual Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. That's brilliant. I'll say we were there. We got a photo pass literally about 2 days before, and I have a professional photographer who's in Exeter, a guy called Julian Baird, who's an amazing live music photographer. I called him up and I said, right, what are you doing over the weekend? He says, well, I don't know why. What's on? I said, right, cancel Saturday and cancel Sunday. You come to Powderham Castle. He was like, oh, okay. Didn't quite realise the size of it until we got there, and then he was shooting like Coldplay and Mumford and the Sons and Wolf Alice and Biffy Clyro, and it was like, this is like the best thing ever. And I think he did like 2 14-hour days on the trot. And by the end of the Sunday, when Coldplay were just finishing up, he was just spent. He was destroyed. I think he slept all day. They woke up on Tuesday morning, and then just felt absolutely spent. But it's the best 2 day shooting of his life, he says. So
that's amazing.
Quite a good event. So.
I was there on the Sunday, and it was boiling hot as well. I remember that really specifically.
It was
so that must have been an adding factor to the tiredness.
Running around. I mean, as I say, I think he had like a golf buggy that someone was driving around for him, but literally from the main stage to the introducing stage to the big top or whatever it was, but he was just shuttling back and forth all day long for 2 days solid. Just didn't even have time for a break, didn't have time to use the bathroom. It was nuts. It really was nuts, but I think he enjoyed it. Deep down, I think he enjoyed it, so that's good. So I wanted to chat to you about musical influences, and particularly who you remember as the first artist or musician that made you want to pick up a guitar and start playing music, Lucy. Who was that and when was it?
So I think it was Bon Iver.
Okay.
I discovered Bon Iver when I was a young teenager. That's when I started playing guitar. So I think those two kind of come hand in hand. You know, it was straight off the bat his first album. I think it was 2008 it was released.
Right, okay.
I just fell in love, and I just love that kind of music. But also like older kind of influences like Joni Mitchell and Simon and Garfunkel, and just lots of folky people like that, really.
Yeah. Predominantly folk. Is that what you listened to growing up as a child, would you say? Your parents anything to help out with that? Or
I would say not predominantly folk, but that's definitely the one that sticks out in my memory the most. But I mean, I've been played like Coldplay and Oasis and stuff. I'm not entirely sure if that relates to my music that I write now, but it's strong memories of mine, like listening to Coldplay when I was super young. With my dad, you know.
Oh, brilliant. That's nice. Nice. It's always interesting to speak to people. I mean, it surprises you sometimes when you get someone who's so musically talented and you think, well, you must come from a musical background. And like, my dad can't even sing in tune in the shower kind of thing, and my mum can't play save her life. And then you've got this sort of 15-year-old guitar prodigy sat in front of you thinking, what the hell is going on here? You know, it's just all self-taught things, but it's interesting to see their sort of upbringing and things like that. So it's cool. I was also going to ask you about whether you're planning on doing any live streams on Facebook or anything like that. And then I saw on your feed tonight before we chatted, you're actually doing one in about 40 minutes time at 8 p.m. So fortunately, by the time this video goes out, that would have been and gone. So are you planning any more in the near future, Lucy?
I will definitely be doing more. This evening is very impromptu. I just I'm kind of like seeing how it goes, you know. But I was planning on releasing an EP quite soon. Unfortunately, that's not going to go ahead just now. So I was thinking of maybe doing a live stream dedicated to that EP and just kind of doing like some stripped back versions of the songs that were supposed to be on that. So I'm thinking of doing that in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Sure. So we'll keep an eye on your Facebook, and we'll talk about social media right at the end, but is Facebook the place where you're going to be advertising all your streams and things like that? Cool. Okay. And what about live shows? I mean, we've already talked about, you know, people holding off booking until we know a little bit more about what's happening with the lockdown situation and things like that. But as soon as it is lifted, are you ready to go? Have you got things booked in the pipeline that you just got to book and go, basically? Or?
I'm guessing. So I've booked a couple for May and June that obviously aren't going to go ahead now. So hopefully they'll be rescheduled. So I'll have them ready to go. But as soon as everything's lifted and we're free.
We're free. Yeah.
I'm planning on gigging as much as possible, you
Shackles are
know.
lifted. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, in Devon and London, honestly, I love gigging in both places. So
cool.
yeah.
How do you find the audiences differ between London and Exeter? Is there a marked difference in the audience, or?
I don't really find that there's much difference, to be
No?
honest. I think with my kind of genre, you have to be very open and you have to let people in, because I mean, I sing such personal songs, and I think like wherever I go, the reception is always quite inviting. And I don't find that differs very much between London and Devon. So
no,
yeah.
maybe gigs and sort of, you know, say stand-up nights, not stand-up, open mic nights and things like that in local pubs are probably different to concerts in venues and things. And I've always found when I used to go out to London and watch shows that there was very much a sort of attitude of, you know, we see bands every night. There's bands coming 10 a penny, basically. Impress me, you know, show me why you're better than the other ones, basically. And there's that kind of bit of a big-headed attitude about living there and things. But again, I'm guessing the sort of open mic nights and local bars are probably a little bit more relaxed than that, I would have thought. So
yeah, I think there's a slight kind of sense of intimidation in London, because obviously people are quite closed and kind of you know, you can kind of sense, especially like on the tube and stuff, you know, people are so angry and no one ever smiles or makes eye contact. What is it with
people on the tube that are so miserable all the time? I used to get on, to come home, and I'd be travelling home on a Friday night or Friday afternoon, and I'd be getting the train home down to Exeter from Paddington, and go on the tube, and I'd be all happy and smiley, and you sort of catch someone's eye, give them a smile, and they just scowl at you, and you think, all right,
they're like, why are you smiling? Like, you're
why
a
are
freak
you happy?
if you smile.
What's wrong with you? That's right. Yeah, what is wrong with you? Now, I ask everyone I chat to, Lucy, to tell me about some of the local bands or musicians. I guess for you, it's either London or Exeter. So, who's worthy of a mention? Who are you gonna name drop in our interview?
I am going to name drop. So in London, first and foremost, I'm going to name drop an amazing girl that I actually study with. She's called Carmen Lees Green, and she is an incredible kind of neo jazz musician.
Wow.
And she's got a couple of, maybe 3 singles on Spotify at the moment, and she's on to big things. Like, she's incredible. Awesome. Devon, I mean, Sadie Hawler is one.
Yeah, I like Sadie. Yeah, she's good.
You know, I like grew up with her, kind of. We went to school together, so like she's a couple of years younger than me, I think, and to see her like grow, it's just so nice.
No, Sadie, definitely. I mean, I think she's studying in Brighton at the moment, doing something musically up there, but she's back in Devon at the moment, obviously, because of the situation. But cool. Anyone else you want to name? Is there anyone who's going to get angry with you because you forgot to mention them?
Oh my gosh, to think it like off the top of my head.
Yeah, I did give you forewarning beforehand. I said I was going to ask you the question.
Yeah, but I mean, I love listening to local musicians. I mean, I can't think of anybody that like you probably haven't mentioned, but like Wildwood Kin, love Wildwood Kin so much. Jacob and Drinkwater.
Yep.
Ollie Dixon.
Sound of the Sirens.
Sound of the Sirens. Yeah, absolutely. Big fan. Yeah.
Ollie Dixon as well. You just mentioned Ollie. Yeah, we worked with Ollie a few times actually, and he's awesome.
I did a gig with him in February actually. We played at the Stables together. That's where I first met him then. Yeah, and he's lovely.
He's great.
Super talented.
His sound is very. I mean, I've always likened him to the likes of Ben Howard and things like that. With his style where he sits with his guitar and the thing. But it's so, I don't know. It's awesome because it's percussive. His guitar, his vocals are very strained and personal. You can really see he's putting every ounce of energy into his songs and things. It's beautiful to see. So
it's really special.
I'll stop you there on the local bands because you're bound to forget people, and I'm sorry to put you on.
I know.
It's a very difficult one. So are you up for playing our quickfire question round?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Right. So Play a game then. I fire questions at you at 100 miles an hour. There's only about 10 or 12 questions, so it won't take too long. You need to give me the first answer that pops into your head, all right? Sometimes it's A or B, or it may well be just a question that you've got to answer on there. So here we go. 60 seconds on the clock. Here we go. Right, number one then. Texting or talking?
Talking.
Okay. Saturday night or Sunday morning?
Oh, Saturday night.
Okay. Favourite town or city in the UK besides the ones that you live in? So you can't have London or Exeter.
Leeds.
Okay. What was your first paid job?
I worked in Debenhams.
Okay. As what?
I was like a sales assistant. Okay. I worked on the shoe section.
On the shoe section. Want your feet measured, guys? You come and see Lucy. She'll sort you out.
Exactly. I'm your gal.
The last song you downloaded?
Oh my gosh, can I check?
Yeah,
on
go
Spotify?
For it. Yeah, go for it.
It was... Oh, it was Lost in Music, Sister Sledge.
Oh, there we are. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. You get ready on Saturday night to go out to a house party or whatever. And
If only.
If only. Yeah, exactly. Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
Oh, speak every language in the world.
Okay. Summer or winter?
Summer.
Okay. How long does it take you to get ready to go out normally when we're living in normal times?
About an hour.
About an hour. Good stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you?
5.
At least you're honest. That's good. Fill in the blank for me. Taylor Swift is?
Overrated.
Excellent. Thank you very much. At what age do you want to retire?
Oh, 60.
60, sounds good.
60.
Would you rather have invisibility or super strength?
Invisibility.
Okay. Final question then, Amazon or eBay?
Amazon.
Good call, good call. That's it, we're done. No more quick questions. Cool. I've got another couple of questions for you and then I'll leave you to go because I'm conscious you've got your live stream in 30 minutes exactly, so I'll leave you time to get ready for that. So before we part company, tell me about the next track that you're planning on releasing. So 16 is out there, basically, get it on Spotify. Where else is it available, Lucy?
It's available on most of the streaming platforms, like, Amazon Music, Apple Music, Deezer, etc., etc.
Okay. Fully booked on there then. So what about the next track then? What's that called and when's that going to be coming out?
So I was planning on releasing the EP, but that can't get finished yet. So I'm planning on releasing just one of the songs from the EP, which is called Told Me.
Okay.
That should hopefully be coming out at the beginning of May. Right. I haven't quite finalised everything yet, but it should be around that kind of time.
So keep our eyes on your Facebook page for more information as that lands on.
I'll be updating that. Yeah.
Cool. And whereabouts is the best place to keep up to date with you on the social media then? Are you a bit of an Instagram fan or Facebook, or what's your poison?
Instagram, I would say, is the best place to keep updated, but also like I post lots of kind of little snippets of my songs and covers and stuff like that, so if you want to kind of check that out, then that's the best place to go.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. Lucy Aggett, thanks so much for chatting to us. Thanks for sparing the time.
Thank you for having me.
I wish you all the best for the future. Live streaming event tonight on Facebook from 8 o'clock. No point me promoting it because this video is not going to go out until after the event, but keep your eye on your Facebook page for more live streams in the near future. Best of luck with the EP. And that finally gets finished off and goes on from there. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the Exeter circuit when things get back to normal. So thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks very much indeed. Take care.
Thanks.